Welcome and good evening to everybody to this Tuesday call, first Tuesday of the month for the Lifewave Success LiveYounger team. So I'm so grateful to see everybody here tonight, all the leaders showing up, and so grateful to see the faces that we can see tonight, and hope more can join yet. So thank you. And also tonight it's going to be a call that we want to go back to the basics with patching, with the how to invite and stuff like that. So hope everybody enjoys the call and that we can share more stuff and hear some testimonials as well. So I'll give the floor to our fearless leader, Pete Redekop, who has been so gracious with everybody to help in this time. And so, Pete, take it away. Pete, you're muted.
Okay, got the mute unmuted, so it helps to hear when you're unmuted. So welcome everyone to the call. It's a beautiful first Tuesday of the month, August 4th here in Manitoba, Canada, and I'm excited that you all took the time out of your busy schedule to be with us on the call today. Now, as Carola mentioned, we're going to go back to some of the basics and just talk a little bit about patching protocols and different things like that, because I know we've been real excited about water machine and cellar jives and things that are not available in Canada. And a lot of our Canada brand partners have said, since we don't have the water machine technically in Canada yet, let's focus more on the call to talking about the patches and testimonies and preferred customer programs and whatnot. So that's where we're going to be tonight. And I want to start off by just sharing that, this comes from a guy, like, I never liked the customer program from the very beginning when Kai, my sponsor, brought me into Lifewave. I said, I don't want customers. I want to have brand partners. I want to have a team of people. And very often, and I know I've been very guilty of this, I've sponsored many people that I would have been much better off sponsoring as a customer. And I brought them in as a brand partner in hopes that they would do some amazing things and build the business. And we all know that the business is wonderful. It's great, but not everyone's in it for the business. They're in for the product, and they join as a customer, really disguised as a brand partner, or a brand partner disguised as a customer, because they're really just a customer. And I was sharing in the success team, the WhatsApp group, I was doing a little looking at some numbers and thinking about, look at what happens here when you focus on the customer program. People often stay with the patches. They use the patches consistently month after month. We have so many new customers, and I put a little screenshot in Success Team yesterday. I don't know if any of you noticed it or not, but it just showed the customer premium and the retail profit for the week. And I think it was like last week. It is not a busy week, last week in July, and it was like well over 500, or was it $600 between the customer premium and the retail sales. Now that's an extra $600 in a week that gets added to your income up and above the binary commissions and everything else that you have. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, that was a result of 6 customer orders that were placed, and some of them were new. We were just on a road trip to Ontario and had a new customer there as well. But just having 6, 7 customers. Now Judy is the queen at this. I mean, she loves the customer program, and I'm sure she outdoes me in that area by far. But this is coming from someone who never wanted to promote the customer program at all, and I'd just rather have them in as a brand partner. And I started looking at the numbers in terms of when you have someone who joins as a preferred customer and they are on an auto ship, and people will just commit to that auto ship. I'm absolutely amazed at how many people just consistently stay with it. And the testimonies that come back are incredible. We don't have any of our customers on the call, but it's so amazing to see certain people that are using the patches as a customer, and they're ordering every month, and they are so excited about the results. And I've got this one customer, and he sends me pictures every month. Look what happened now. Look at this, what this patch did now. And I want this patch. I want that patch. Because when you're on the customer program, they continue to gift you some additional patches, so you can try another patch, and they try that patch, and they absolutely love the result again. He says, I got to get this patch now on my auto ship every month because this one is really amazing. And he starts sharing it with other people. he starts telling friends about it. He says, "Oh, I said your order is like $800, $900. Like, how are you ordering so much? Oh, it's not just for me. My friends here, they've seen the results and what happened to this toe of mine. Like, it was swollen, and I know Roger and Crolla were in Tabor for the patching party we had there, and he did the same thing out there. He pulls his shoe off and he shows what had happened to his toe, which was so abscessed, so swollen, and now it's down to 1/10 of the size it was. And it's stories like this that people like, wow, really? It did all that? And he's right there, he's showing it. And then you show a before picture and then an after picture. And that's what I really encourage everyone to do. If you have a customer and they're brand new to the patches and they're wanting to see what the result will be, I say to them, commit to it at least a month for every decade of you've been alive. So if you're 70, commit to it for 7 months. You're going to see amazing results long before that, but just commit to it that length of time. And I have found that these people, you know what, when they do this and they have that mindset, they are just with you and they are just excited and they're seeing the results versus the medication and things that they were using before and they weren't really getting the results. So I think it's something really well worthy of sharing that our customers are getting these kinds of results, and then we drip on them about other things like Celergize the water. I mean, obviously we don't have that in Canada yet. We have no idea when we'll get it in Canada, but I know David Schmidt has made mention of the water becoming available to Canadian brand partners in as early as October, November. I don't know if that's changed or not. Maybe Kai can address and speak to that a little bit. But I've got my wonderful sponsor, Kai Jacobson, who brought me in March 31st of 2020 was the day that I finally said, yeah, okay, what have we got to lose? He's got a point. He'd been talking about the patches for years, and I'd turned a blind eye and just kind of ignored him. And I heard all his little stories and different things. And Kai is just real special. He's been always special in my life. And I want to turn it over to him, but we've got quite a few things to share. I know we've got Jacob Wolf here tonight as well from Winkler. He's got a wonderful testimony he's going to be sharing with his wife, Lily, and just his use of the patches. So I am going to turn it over to my friend, upline mentor, Kai Jacobson. So take it away, Kai.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. Uh, it's always been a pleasure to be working with you for all these years. We've done a lot of different things. We did a lot of crypto stuff too. And, I don't know what the schedule is for launching in Canada. It's one of those great mysteries. It has a lot to do with Health Canada as things are approved. And, it really, until it happens, we don't know. But I know that they're, working on it. That's for sure. It's really more about Canada making those decisions than the company. I mean, they're ready to ship it, and they're ready to they have it all manufactured. The Celergize and the water. So it's just a matter of when Canada decides to make it okay and be approved. Um, I like this what we're doing on this call. I'm kind of an old school builder. Like there's lots of new ways to do it, and I wish I knew a little bit more about it. I have been learning. I've been learning Claude and Go High uh, level, and even HeyGen I'm starting to work with. So I'm starting to learn some of these new tools. But I've always liked the basic belly to belly on the telephone talking conversation, and you know I remember one of my earliest teachers, one of a very, very successful network marketer in one of my earlier companies where we sold uh, seaweed drink with minerals and stuff like that. And he would hold up the bottle and he would say, "This is the key. This is the salesperson. The product will sell itself." And I really feel like we have that with Lifewave and X39. Our products are really phenomenal. And I think people don't rely upon that enough. I met one of the bigger players in one of the other groups. Uh, he was the husband of his wife was very successful. She was an SPD at that time, and he was kind of tagging along for the ride. And they had won a cruise and everything, and they were at the higher levels on the SPD cruise. And he says, "All I do is I just carry patches. I have a little, thing that insulates it so that my body doesn't trigger it off, a little packaging that he puts it in. And I just patch everybody." He says, "I put one patch on everybody." And he said, "That's my business. I patch. I just put a patch on everybody, put a patch on it. Was his line. And then follow up with and get their information so you can call them and touch in and follow up with what happened. And he said that that's what his wife essentially did. She was better in front of big rooms and things. He wasn't comfortable, uh, maybe being a public speaker and everything. But he says, I'm so comfortable sticking a patch on. Where does it hurt? He sticks it on. And if it doesn't hurt, here it comes on the back of your neck. And he stayed with one patch, X39. Let them discover the other patches. There's so many wonderful things. And, over time, as Pete just said, people are going to discover the other patches and kind of be curious about what they are and learn more, but in a real gradual way. If you kind of try to put 4 or 5 different patches on them all at once, which I used to do initially, it's just so confusing for people. And then they feel like they have to buy 5 or 6 things and it's a $500 or $600 order. And that kind of turns them off, right in the beginning. Later on, when they get really excited, it works. So I really like going back to the basics. And my simple thing is, it's summertime where everyone's out and about. I'm going to be traveling a lot. I'm going to be on 2 different cruises in Italy. I just ordered, one of those maintenance kits. So I'm on auto ship for 6 months, and I've got 9 X39s sleeves, and I'm putting them in my suitcase. And I hope I put them all on, a lot of different people. And that's my thing. Is just I'm just going to patch a lot of people, and then follow up with conversations. And now with this new app, I haven't learned it really well yet, but I'm going to be learning it. And you can run your whole business through that app and putting a patch on, how many people did you patch today, and follow up with. It's really that simple. And in time, it will build a thing. The good news I do want to share an update. No one knows exactly what's happening around the pay plan, but I know a lot of people have felt some frustration around it. I have personally too. And the good news is that David's really, really receptive at this point to making a really big move in it, and as soon as he possibly can. And I don't know exactly what it's going to be, but I do know the direction. It's going to be to simplify it, make it much simpler, not so many got yous and overlaying qualifications, just get it down to 1 or 2 key qualifications, and simpler numbers and lower thresholds so that more people can become successful. So, it's going to go in the right direction. It couldn't happen fast enough, but it will happen, I think, in a fairly timely way at this point. So I think there's a lot to be very excited about, looking forward for that, because I think that's been a big stumbling block for a lot of the growth that could have been happening. And I believe, now we have everybody on board about it, including David. So, it's going to go in a good direction. That's for sure. Okay, back to you, Pete.
All right. Thank you so much, Kai. Appreciate you as always. And one of the things that I've been doing lately is with going back to the basics. And of course, we made that the topic for today. And I've been going through a lot of older videos and looking back at when I started in Lifewave and what made it so explosive at the time, what made it grow so fast at the time. And I went back and watched an old Dr. Nicholas video. And of course, Kai originally brought Dr. Nicholas in, gave the sponsorship to Robin and Gregory, or the other way around, gave Robin and Gregory to Dr. Nicholas. So Robin and Gregory were actually under Dr. Nicholas. And Dr. Nicholas did a really cool thing for me in the beginning when Kai lined it up. He patched me over WhatsApp. And, that's something that a lot of people don't take into consideration, that you can do this when someone's having problems and this and that, and they get their patches in. Well, they don't know exactly what to do, where to place it. And I know Judy is meticulous with this. She's really good with this kind of stuff. And you can do that over WhatsApp, over Telegram, over anything, the MSN Messenger, and just get people on video and, okay, now I want you to do this. I want you to place the patch here. And I know there's often some conflicting information from old videos to what we currently say today, because some of them date back years ago, and they're not always the same information. But in the end, people will make their own decisions, and they will put the patch on, whether it's 12 hours, whether it's 16 hours. And I know Judy brought to my attention that there was a video where Dr. Nicholas said, leave the support patches on for 24 hours. Now, do you think that has changed at all, Kai, in terms of, like, Judy brought that up in the leadership room, that Dr. Nicholas says, leave some of the support patches on for 24 hours and it's okay. What are your thoughts on that, Kai? I just want to address that right off the top here with the support patches. Is there any harm in leaving a patch on 12 hours and not taking it off after 12 or 16 hours? What are your thoughts on that topic?
Well, I do know because I've been with the company a long time, and I've heard kind of all the different variations of this discussion. And David Schmidt was very clear when, at one point many years ago, when he was talking about it, he spent literally tens of millions of dollars on the clinical studies. And when you change one element in a clinical study, like how long do you leave the patch on? Do you leave it on 12 hours, 14 hours, 13 hours, 15 hours, 8 hours, 24 hours? Um, each time you change that one variable, you have to do the whole test over again with a whole bunch of people. And he just arbitrarily picked 12 hours. He says that what's important is that you have it off your body for a good chunk of time. So doing it 24 hours and then back to back and put another patch on 24 hours later, right, I mean, right, like you take one off and put one on, that isn't good. David said that the body attenuates and gets used to the signal. And just like you need a period of time with it not on the body, and it'll still be working. The effects of it will still be happening for you. The benefits keep on kind of cooking in your body, but you're not having that signal always on. And if the signal is always on, body after a while kind of gets numb to it. And so what's really important, the key feature is for 4 or 5 hours, it should at least be off the body, between the same patch going on. Now, different patches can be put on and they have different effects on the body. So, you can do day patches and then do night patches and then do day patches. There's no problem having patches 24 hours on your body. But let's say we keep it really simple with X39. For any single patch, you definitely want to have a good chunk of time. And he thinks 8 hours is a good amount. But what he said was, we don't know, because no one's ever done testing definitively, like whether it's better to leave on 14 or 16 hours. But what he does know is it does have to be off the body for a good 6 to 8 hours for it to recalibrate and be able to get the best benefit of stimulating the body again with that information. And so I keep it really simple. That's my boat, the way I do it. And many people do this. And I do it is when I get up in the morning, I put my patches on. And sometimes I get them on usually before breakfast, but sometimes it might be after breakfast. And then leave them on until I go to bed and take them off. It's just that simple. And if I forget and it gets on a little later during the day, I still do it. And so I try to keep a consistent amount of time. Usually it's when I wake up and when I go to bed. And when I go to bed, I put on some night patches, usually for the night. And that's kind of how I keep it really simple, because who's watching a clock every moment? I don't like wearing clocks and watches, so I don't have like a buzzer going off or on my phone for when patch has to come off. I just keep it, the rhythm of my life. And it may be a little better, maybe not quite as effective by being on for those couple hours longer. Maybe it is more effective. But the key is that you want it off the body for 6 to 8 hours at least before you put it back on again. You wouldn't want to put it on for 24 hours, take it off, put another one on 24 hours, and never not have a time that it's not on your body. If you do want to leave it on for 24 hours, then make sure you don't put the next one on for about 8 hours, if you're going to do that. It does diminish and it does not have as strong as effect on those last period of time. A lot of people with animals tend to take it off their body, and because animals are so sensitive to the patches, they really respond to them. They just use their discarded patches for the rhythm of their animals and stick it on the collar of their dog or their cat. And that's the way they get the last bits of juice out of the patch and do it that way. Anyway, I hope that helps.
Yeah, that does help, Kai. So does that help answer your question too, Judy? So I think that was well said there. I know I've been guilty of that myself. I've had the patches on. Oh, I forgot to take that patch off, and I had it on for 24 hours straight. And I'm sure we've all experienced that.
Oh yeah.
So I take it off and I just don't put a patch on, like you said, for a number of hours, and then I'll reapply another patch. And I've never noticed any detrimental effect by doing that. So I'm been totally 100% fine with that. But to move along
The 12
here.
hours, I just want to go back and say that one more time, was arbitrary. David just picked a time for his because he was spending millions of dollars on testing. Like let's say he spent 10 million at least to if he had to put the the test for 6 different variables of like 10 hours, 12, 11 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, then it would have been, let's say 6 variables would have been $60 million for the same test results. And maybe he would have found that, this patch is better on for 14 hours than 12 hours. But it's a small difference. But the 12 hours is kind of an arbitrary, just middle of the road pick. And so he had a consistent thing. So the testing was all the same. But it doesn't know if it's better to leave it on for 14 or 12 hours.
All right, thanks for sharing that, Kai. And I know that there's such a huge difference, and once you become a believer of the patches, like we all are, and you find such a difference, like when you have in a day where the inflammation is flaring up, which right now we have cooler weather, and when the barometer shifts, and I notice such a significant difference when I have that Eon patch or Ice Wave patch on. The tan is there, the white is there, or using carnosine, like behind the ear, and you notice things real quickly, and you don't have to be told. You don't have to. Well, will this work? You already know it will work. From past experiences, you already know it's going to make a difference, and that's the message that you want to convey to your customers. Now, with my trip down memory lane and going through some different patching protocols and things, I came across this video and I'm going to share it here. Now, keep in mind, the video is not one that you necessarily want to share the way it is, but it has her link, the patch lady, and she does some really good stuff. And it's a really good video. And I might ask Carola to copy that link, upload it to our YouTube channel, and just take out her referral link so that we can all make use of the information. It's really, really good information here. And sometimes we just got to go back to the basics and look at these things and say, okay, that's what it was. I started with this, and I did that. I no longer do that. So this video really, really was good in my opinion, but just ignore the referral link. Keep in mind that they do try to brand themselves, obviously, and try to, in the description, get their referral link out to the audiences that they're marketing to. We can easily upload that and remove the referral link. So that's just generic, so everyone can share that same information without a referral link or with their referral link in there if you upload it to your own YouTube channel. So take a look at it. Let me know what your thoughts are. I thought it was a really good video. But moving along, we've got Judy and Lana with us as well. They both have a few words to share. And Judy's always just gung-ho on fire and just lots going on. And I want to flip it over to Judy. Then we'll have Lana come on. And then we'll have Jacob Wolf after that come on for a little testimony. So Judy, how are you doing? How are things? And share with us what is going on in Abbotsford, BC.
Hey there. Well, good to see everybody here again tonight, and it's good to be with you. I'm excited to have both Lori on as a brand partner of mine, as well as Dr. Jess from Washington. And so I'm just getting ready to pack up and to go down and join Dr. Jess at a booth that she has paid for at a local county fair. And so we're very excited. We're going to have the water machine there and some samples of Celergize because, of course, it's the American market. And we both work really well together in just putting on a patch. Like Kai said, people come by the booth and we just offer a patch and they're interested. And Jess has a lot of the signage that helps out and some of the handouts. And then we follow them up. So we're looking forward to these next 4 days of seeing a significant increase in Dr. Jess's team. So I'm going down there to support her and help her out. So yeah, I am always wanting to keep on top of how my customers are doing and whether they're brand partners or customers. One little quick story. I have a gentleman who has pain in his heel, back of his leg. The doctors couldn't figure out any which way to help him. And I went there and I put on an X39 and some Ice Wave. And before you know it, he was saying, I can't believe it. Like after all these years, it was in between pain, nerve, and kind of like a restless leg kind of a feeling. and magnesium and everything else wasn't doing it. So I just become a believer myself over and over again whenever I see someone who's suffering and who trusts me to let me to experiment and then to see the improvement. A number of years ago, when my husband and I won our first Lifewave trip, and David was actually there. I forget whether it was Punta Cana or where we were, but anyway, I got a chance to actually talk with him. And one of the things that was on my mind was this whole topic of patching and how long to leave it on, and what do you do if you forget? And he said something I'll never forget that I have passed on many, many, many times. And that is, he said, the attenuation actually won't happen the first time you forget and you leave the patch on. So you can just continue to patch. If you leave a patch on and you wake up in the morning, you think, oh, shoot, I forgot to take off my X39. He said, you can just start right away again with a fresh new X39 that morning. He said, after doing that 2 or 3 times in a row, that's when your body will go into attenuation. So you have a little bit of wiggle room to forget and not have to take an 8-hour or even a 12-hour break. So I've been teaching that with my team, and they feel so much better because you can make a mistake now and then, and you don't have to remember to skip. And of course, you don't want them to skip if it's not needed, because their auto ship is coming and they're going to have all these extra patches if they keep skipping and keep skipping. So I let people know what David told me, and that is, you can forget even a couple nights in a row, and in the morning you don't have to take that break. So I thought I'd just pass that along, and want to send it back to you, Pete, and to save some time here for Lana as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Judy. And I know I've met Dr. Jess and her husband at convention, and they're coming down again this year. Is Dr. Jess all of a sudden available to just say hello real quick with her fair coming up? But always a treat to hear a couple of words from her. So I don't know. Dr. Jess, I'm going to ask you to unmute and just say hello to everybody. Just share something exciting, something new. Love that smile.
Oh, I'm never good on the spot, but hi everybody. Yeah, I mean the other day, I had somebody that, let me see, what was she? Yeah, she was having knee pain, and we put the that Life Ice Wave on her, and she was so excited. She goes, "I'm totally sold on this." She goes, "It took all the pain away, and that she didn't have to use over the counter something for it." So I just heard that today, so that was exciting.
Beautiful, beautiful, wonderful. Well, thank you for taking the time to put your beautiful face on camera here and to share with us. And best of luck at the fair with Judy. I know you guys are going to rock it out
Thanks.
of the park. It'll be a great time. Let us know how it goes and how the progress goes. A little update in the success team every now and then would be absolutely wonderful to see the booth and to
Okay.
hear how things are going. And I'm going to challenge you to catch as many as you can, let them sample the water and make it happen. I know you will. So.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Okay.
Jess. And thank
Thank
you, Judy,
you.
for sharing everything that you shared. And next, we've got Lana from Regina, Saskatchewan. We were just down there in June, and she's probably driving right now. I'm not sure. But Lana, if you would unmute and just share with us a little bit what's going on, what's new, girl?
Hey there. Yeah, happy to join everybody tonight, and thanks for the back to the basics tips. Kai's tips were really awesome, and always a pleasure to hear from Judy. And I would also just like to say that I've built my business on face to face too. I can't say that I'm incredibly techy, and so I'm more confident in my one-to-one interactions with people than I am with anything. And the basics work. I keep an insulated pouch of patches on me all the time, and I have never worried about the cost of what the cost is to patch other people. For one, we're in service to others, and I think if we can make someone's day a little bit better, that's just there's payment right there. But the reward is immense because it does come back to you. My estimation is, if you follow up with people, I would say 75% of people will be open to the idea of ordering. And I too was not really well versed on the customer program until a number of months ago, when, like Pete mentioned, people that should have been customers all along were signed up as brand partners, and we really should have had them as customers. And I'm just going to give a very brief story about, I have two Cheryls actually. They're both named Cheryl, and they both had immediate results with the patches. So the last Cheryl, Pete, and Hannah were able to meet at our patching party in June when they were here, and she has some troubling issues with blood sugar. And so she was a little bit leery because she's on many medications, and she was a little bit leery about how these patches would work. And she has to go for a procedure twice a week in the hospital to help her body with elimination. And so she was always, because drinking water isn't, always encouraged when you're having to be dependent on this procedure. Anyway, this woman responded so quickly to the patches, and I remember her phoning me one day just absolutely over the moon excited because she was able to eliminate in the middle of the night, which hasn't happened for her in years, which is indicating that her elimination organs are starting to wake up. And even her doctor has taken notice to the improvements in her health. And she actually phoned me the other day because I've been helping her learn her back office in the customer program. And she said, Lana, you need to move up my date because I never want to be without my patches. I want them to arrive a week before they come. So that customer program is well loved. In particular, she is like so excited to get her samples, and she just never wants to run out. So the automatic order for some people might be a deterrent, but what I tell people is just give it a try and mark it on your calendar, put a reminder in your phone. And if you need to move it, you can. But it's often good to keep that regular because it keeps us regular with using our patches. And as we know, consistency leads to results. And so, as the company says, 1 month of use for every decade of life. And if you can convince people that timeline will probably net them some really significant rewards as far as health goes, I think they'll stick on that program. And they love getting the free stuff, and the free stuff is worth it. My goodness, the value in that $25 once per year membership is well returned within 1 to 2 months at the very least. So give it a shot. And if you're not used to signing people up on the customer program, any one of us would be absolutely over the moon to help you do it. So those are my fresh words for this August meeting, and I wish everybody abundance and success. And I'm going to plant the seed again. That convention is coming back up in October. There are still tickets available. It is an incredible experience if you've never been, and I just want you to start thinking about perhaps attending this year. We'd love to have you with us.
Thank you so much, Lana. Appreciate you as always, and so appreciate your wonderful personality. And it's so obvious when we go to visit Lana, when we're in Regina at Body Fuel Organics, or we're at a patching party, wherever it is. Last time it was right in her store, and it was well attended. And it's just amazing to see what a love her people have for her, because she's so thorough. She's that belly to belly marketer. I call it old school marketing. It's, in my opinion, some of the best. I challenge often an old school marketer to someone who's all into this AI stuff and markets online. Some of them do well, but I guarantee the retention is nowhere near where someone who does the old school belly to belly, because there's nothing that replaces a real person, a real voice, a real heart, a real love for another person, and says, here, let's try this and let's see if you get the same results as my last client or my friend or myself have experienced. And Lana is really, really good at that. Just got that servant heart. Absolutely appreciate that so much about you, Lana. So keep up the great work. You're doing absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, moving along now. We have Jacob Wolf here tonight. And before I bring Jacob Wolf on, I want to just one more thing. Lana, I know you're on the call here as well. And Lana is also in Abbotsford, BC, where Judy is. And Lana, if you're all of a sudden available, I would love for you to come on and just share a real quick. If you're not able to, that's okay. I'll just move on. But I wanted to at least give you the spotlight here, an opportunity just to share a few things about Lifewave and what you're doing. You're very consistently at the director level, and you're doing great. Let me know if you're available, Lana, for a short little share here. If I don't see you.
Hi, everybody.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Lana. Good to see you.
Good evening. Yeah, I just keep talking to people. I must say I'm really good in getting phone numbers, but I need more help in follow-ups. And yeah, so I am learning myself all the time.
Wonderful, Lana. And the numbers speak for themselves. You're doing really well. And one thing that I've said to you in the past, I'll say it again, that if you can get a small group of people together, 5, 6, whatever, let me know, pick a date, and we'll do a private little Zoom like this, and we can get your 5, 6 people in a call like this, and Hannah, myself, maybe even Judy, or I can get Kai, or whoever. We have plenty of support, so we're always willing. If you can get some people together, we're always willing to go out of the way and have a private little Zoom for you and your guests so that they can just be heard, have their questions answered. So keep that in mind, Lada. We recognize you, we see your numbers, and you're doing a great job, and we appreciate you immensely, Ada. So you have a wonderful day, and thanks for coming on, speaking to us, and sharing your beautiful face. All right,
Thank
moving
you.
along. We've got Jacob Wolf, and Jacob Wolf has been just very consistent. He was sponsored by Carl Krebs and Jacobs and Winkler, Manitoba, and he's got quite the story. We've gotten to know him pretty well, and his wife Lily. I mean, she's from Mexico originally, and Jacob's got a little story here, a little testimony that he'd like to share. So, Jacob, my friend, take it away. You're muted, Jacob. Just have to unmute. We don't hear you.
Okay,
There you are. Take it away,
there
Jacob.
we go. Oh, just a little bit of background for myself and Alma. We've been on the patches for 2.5 years, and so we know the patches well. And she had a very good experience very early on when we first started the patches with her menstrual cycles, and we had tried many other things, and she had immediate response to the X39. But on December 17th at the clinic. We were at the clinic for different things, but at the end of the meeting, it was determined that there was possible cysts on her ovaries, and but things got delayed in the system as to the next step. And so Alma's sister-in-law in Mexico, she's a doctor, and so she said, if things get delayed up over there, just come up over here. And we will look after you. So December 25th, we left. It's a 33-hour trip over there. And once we got there, Elvia had arranged for all the different areas for the test to be done. And so Alma's surgery was done we got there the 29th, and her surgery was done on the 17th of January. And the time spent in the hospital and was only 26 hours after her surgery, after she came out of surgery and stuff. And so after we left, she had been given different prescriptions, and one of the meds gave her a really bad reaction, and her back turned all red, all dry, and so we just stopped that medication and talking with Judy and stuff as to what do we do. And so that's when we started to use the glutathione during the daytime, and then switching over to AE at nighttime. But instead of putting on one patch, we were putting on 4 patches over top of the incision. Then the incision took 32 staples to close, and Alma did not need to take any pain medications throughout the whole after leaving the hospital and stuff. And so we stayed in Mexico for a month, got back on February 22nd, and we had been in contact with the cancer care from Mexico. And as soon as we got back, we started the meetings and stuff, and So they outline all the symptoms that can happen, diarrhea, vomiting, and all those other wonderful things. But through all the treatments and stuff, she had 3 treatments, which were 23 days intervals. And during this time, she had no problems with displaying or experiencing any of those symptoms. And any of those symptoms, and so the patches that were used was the X39, the in Canada is the Renew, and also the YH, the Eon patches, in which are still being used. And we had her last meeting with Cancer Care, and everything is fine. Thank you. Thank you to Judy for all the help.
And Jacob, one thing that we noticed when we were at your place, it was so amazing to see. Yeah, she had lost her hair, but the energy that she had, just the vitality, how she looked, and how vibrant she still was. It was absolutely amazing to see how that had progressed. Because I've seen many other situations where it's not as favorable as it was with Elma there. So it was really, really, really nice to see her doing so well and recovering so nicely. And I'm sure that was just an absolute blessing for the two of you. So you're real special, and I appreciate you a ton, Jacob. And it was just a wonderful, wonderful testimony that you shared. So anything else you want to add to that, Jacob?
No, just also thank you for all the prayers and stuff that were in support with the patches.
All right, Jacob.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to hear from you, and to see you and your wife and doing so well, and just continuing to share LifeWave with everyone out there. So absolutely wonderful. And what makes LifeWave really unique is the fact that we have real people with real testimonies, real stories. They're not fabricated. They're not AI generated. This is something that's real, down to earth. And I love that about LifeWave. And even when I'm out talking to someone, I mean, just whenever I get the opportunity, I'm talking to someone. Not everybody's going to say yes. And people do this on their watch, not your watch. And sometimes we want now, we want them to start now. We want them to try now. But they may hesitate. They may not be ready to start right now, but don't give up. Use the My InTouch app, the new app that we have. If you guys haven't downloaded that yet, give it a whirl. Try it and send out a little video to someone, but do yourself a huge favor. Let them know you're going to send them a video. Say, I'm going to send you this video. I'd love to practice on you. I'm going to send you this little video about X39 or a health tracker. I want you to look at this health tracker. I'm going to send you this health tracker, and just take a look at if anything rings a bell, if anything resonates with you. And then they've got your voice. They know it's coming, and they're 10 times more likely to click on the health tracker or the video that you send them and say, wow, I watched that. That was amazing. Can you send me something else, some more things to support that? Sure, I'll send you the video here on the X39, and send it to them. It's a really, really good tool. And I find that if we just go back to the basics and we send to our contacts, how many contacts you have on your phone? Can you commit to doing 2 or 3 a day? Sending out, whether it's WhatsApp, it's Facebook Messenger, or text, or email. The app gives you all these options, and the app is very affordable, and it's really good. If you pick up a few new customers with that, I mean, the app has already paid for itself automatically. So I think we're onto something really good here. It's in the infancy stages here. So you might have a few trial and errors with the app in the beginning, and just select the American flag, all the videos and all the stuff that's available. There'll be lots more coming into that My InTouch app, but you can go to the Play Store or the Google Store, the iTunes Store, and download it. There's still a 14-day trial on it. The trial will go away, but for now, the 14-day trial is there. You can test it, and then let's face it, it's whether it's $11 Canadian or $8 American a month. That's a very small price to pay for a tool of this caliber that you can really get out there and just really market to your contacts. And let's face it, we all have 100 plus contacts in our phone. Some of us have 1,000 plus contacts in our phone. I mean, can you imagine going through that? Maybe you haven't followed up with someone there for a year or 2 or 3, maybe even, send them a short message and stay in touch, and amazing things will happen. So anyways, that's my encouragement. And I think we've pretty much wrapped up our 45 minutes here, which we always try to stick to. And I want to turn this back over to Kai for some closing words. Kai, if you have anything else you'd like to share, we will close it off after that. So, Kai, my friend, take it away.
I wasn't prepared to have a closing speech, but I listen to Dr. Wayne Dyer every day. I do my yoga and stretching and stuff like that, and he had something I was really liked today that been percolating in me. Maybe I'll share that with everybody. And it was about intention and that you have this intention to be successful in life, and that we want the benefits of having a very full life, of being healthy and having abundance financially and being able to help and serve other people. And what he said is that it's really an inside job. Like there's some people out there that train, that go out and says, it's like more like Rambo, like I'm going to go recruit people. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to do 10 people today and I'll do 20 people tomorrow. And, and rah, rah, rah. And you get out there and do this. And he said, that's just such a really unsustainable and not even very fun thing to do. And what he said, which I loved, is that God, as being divine intelligence, is kind of where we came from. That's like you can see the ocean behind me. You could think of it as the ocean of life, God and that intelligence. And when we were born, we had, we don't grow our fingernails, we don't make our heart beat. It just happens because it just happens automatically for us. We really have this grace in life. And to build your business, think of, if you connect to source, which is divine intelligence, that's what makes it happen. It's not by effort. Yes, you have to be present and be doing it, but it's not this act of doing. It's this being present with doing. I don't know quite how to say it, but it will happen on its own accord if you really work on it. And the story he told was great, because it was he said the story was kind of like, we know that success in life is an inner job, and bad things can happen all around us, or people can be angry and things. But if we're really connected to source, it just kind of doesn't affect us, because we're really connected to what's really important. And what's important is really about being kind and be loving and be sharing something wonderful with people, and trust that the abundance and the good things happen on their own accord by just being connected to that and being in that flow, as opposed to efforting and chasing after people and doing that. And the example was, it's like if somebody loses their keys and and you're in your house, and for some reason the lights don't work. Let's say there's a little blackout and you can't see in your house very well, and you're looking and groping around for your keys, but you notice outside on the street that there's a street light on, and you go out there and you go, I think I'll go over there because there's more light, I can see better, and then I'll look for my keys there. And then this traveler comes by and says, oh, what are you doing? I'm looking for my keys. And he helps him for a while, and he goes, well, where did you lose them? And he goes, well, I lost them in my house. And he goes, well, why are you looking for them out here? That's kind of how we do this. That sounds ridiculous when you say it that way, but the truth is, the recruiting happens from within you. When you change your attitude and the way and the posture and what space you hold, and by wanting it more success for the other person, being, grateful and thankful and wanting to serve, it's an inside job. In other words, our success is inside us. It's not outside of us. If I can get these people to do this, I get them. It doesn't work that way. We have to be that from our own side for the right reasons. So I kind of want to just say that your success is going to be, it's an inside job. And take that intention and just connect to the things you truly love, and then share this which you love with those people in the places that you love, and your business will happen on its own accord.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Kai, for the wisdom and the closing words. And I did just notice that Rowena just popped onto the webinar. She did say she'd be late. They were just traveling on their anniversary trip down to Utah area. So Rowena, I know you're in the airport, and Rowena is sponsored by Lily Fair, who's also a director, which is under Roger and Crolla out of Winnipeg. So Rowena, I don't know if you're in an area where you can just say hello real quick. We're at the end of the webinar here, but I'd love to give you the camera for a moment here and a chance to happy anniversary. There she is, and good to see you. They just visited the Lifewave office down in Draper, Utah. So hey, wonderful, good to see you. Anything you want to share, Rowena?
Well, I don't know. We have a couple of minutes. I could just tell you about how all this happened and why we went down to Salt Lake City. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear some background in the back, but that's to be expected in airports.
The intercom, yeah. Okay, so I had joined a coaching program for network marketing in January, and they have a conference that they do right at the end of July. So that is the reason why I booked this trip. Happens to be in Salt Lake. I feel like I never would have gone to Salt Lake City. Like I would have never had a reason. And so I went, and then Chris and I went to the headquarters because I thought, hey, we're like so close. Let's just do this. So he's over here.
Hey, Chris.
And yeah, so we went there and we had a lady give us a tour. She was a Spanish speaking lady, so she was looking at cue cards the whole time. And I could say, to be honest, I didn't learn anything more than I already knew. It was very much like the videos that you see. But it was really cool to be there, like to know that you're in Lifewave at their headquarters, see the place. And then there was another guy, that gentleman that was on the tour. So we connected with him, chatted with him. He is on the Visit team. So it was cool to talk to him about like different strategies and stuff like that, what he does. And he ended up actually also being there for this coaching program that I'm in. So that was neat. So I got to kind of hang out with him for 2 days. And there was quite a few other Lifewave people there because it was like all different companies, but they never asked what company you're from. And so the whole time it was just learning how to network market. It was a lot of like how to what's happening now with social media, what is current, what is out. People really want to connect with people, like raw, like human, not AI images, like don't use AI photos of yourself, nothing like that, like be real. People really like talking heads, it's called, where you just get on and you just talk, that kind of thing. Like I learned a lot of things that like what I can use in my business, and also just to also work on things within ourselves, because if there are certain insecurities or things that you have, you won't be able to serve your people well, you won't be able to serve your team, and people will get that vibe off of you when you want to help them or sign them up. They will know if you are like how genuine you are, how real you are with them. So that is the nutshell of my like 12-hour days that I had. And then we went and explored Salt Lake and had our anniversary yesterday. That's it.
Wonderful, Rowena. Thank you so much for sharing that. And closing just real quickly, what was your first impression of the Welcome Center in Draper? Like, was it like some of the people I've talked to, was it like, wow, this is like next generation, this is insane? Or what was it like? What was the experience like? Just real quick, 30 seconds on that.
You want my honest opinion, right?
Yeah, I want your honest opinion. Yeah.
It was small. Like, okay, that's my honest opinion. It was smaller than I thought it was. But when we walked in, it was cool. Like my favorite part was when you see that tunnel that you see on the videos, where you walk in and you see stuff, like it feels like you're kind of in a spaceship. That was cool, I'd say. And then it was really neat just to have like big displays where people could explore the patches, and just, it was interactive like that. So that was cool. Yeah, so I liked it.
Awesome. I'll always appreciate a real honest answer and opinion. And I'm glad you attended the conference, and picked up some nuggets of wisdom to help you grow your LifeWave business, and I'm sure it will. So I want to thank you for putting your camera on and showing us your beautiful face at the airport while you're traveling. And again, happy anniversary to you and Chris, and all the best. And we'll end it on that note. So thank you, everyone, for joining us tonight. And Corolla will have the replay out as early as maybe tomorrow, whatever. But we really want to thank each and every one of you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to be with us here today on the first Tuesday of the month. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Hey, bye.
Bye.